Hey guys, welcome back to Wedding Cash. So today we are going to talk about audiences, Facebook audiences, who to market to, because it is so important when you're placing those ads that you're directing them to the right people, right? So let's go to the computer and let's talk about those audiences. Okay, so what you need to know about audiences when it comes to weddings is this, right? So an audience is going to be the people that you are marketing to. So if you don't know what an audience is, this is your cold traffic, right? This is not warm traffic. Again, warm traffic is going to be people who already kind of know who you are. We're talking about cold traffic. When you run that first Facebook ad, you know who you need to market to, okay? And in the wedding industry, it's not always as obvious as it seems, okay? You have your industry, you have related industries. But just because you're in the wedding industry doesn't mean that that you're gonna gravitate toward anybody, right? Because you might be, there could be people who have already booked a service, right, or booked your service, and you don't want to be advertising and you're wasting your money running ads in front of them, right? So getting your audience narrowed down is a big deal. So let's go to the computer here. Okay, one thing that I recommend when you start here in Facebook is that you look at audience insights, okay? This is a big one. Because the thing is that you want to know who it is that you're marketing to, right? Because you can't just market to everybody, right? I mean, you got to be marketing to people who are looking for your services. And just because you're in the wedding industry doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to want to market to everybody who's getting married. You need to market to people who are getting married and they're looking for a specific service, right? Which is either directly your service or relates to it, right? That's the key here, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look here and see if we can narrow it down. Now, I recommend the Audience Insights tab as an excellent place to start. And you can find that when you go to your Ads Manager, you click on Audiences, click Audience Insights, and it'll bring up this tab here, okay? And this is gonna open everything up, right? Now, you can select your country or region if you want to. So let's say, for example, you are a wedding photographer working in, let's say, Miami, Florida, right? So Miami, Florida, you can punch that in there. What I usually do is this. I usually start by leaving this blank, okay? Because you got to narrow down the gender and the age, right? So what I typically do is I'll go down to advanced, right? And I'm going to go to relationship status. Now, I know that this is a little controversial. Some people don't like to do this, but I recommend it because that way at least I know that I'm hitting the people who are listed as engaged. This is expensive advertising, guys, and you don't want to, you don't want to waste your money on people who are not relevant to your ad, right? So you want to start with people who are engaged. Well, right now, excuse me, you can see that on all of Facebook, that 52% are women and 48% are men, right? That's who you have in your demographics, correct? Right. So that is who's listing as engaged right now. Now, you also want to put down on here wedding photography. Wedding photography, right? Or you also can put photography, these two, okay? You can just do wedding photography if you want to. It might limit your audience a little bit too much, so you might want to add in photography as well, okay? So now you can see that those who are on Facebook, it's pretty close. 55% are women, 45% are men, right? And that is who is looking for photography. And it's mostly this age range, it's 18 to 34, right? This is what you want to know. And then what you do is you set it right here for your 18 to 34. Now, what I recommend that you do when you're putting together your audience is I recommend that you open it up to both men and women, okay? Yes, I realize the majority is women, but however, this is not some massive majority, okay? It's really just, what is that, rough, not even, or a little over 10%, right? 54 to 50, yeah, so you're looking at like 12% difference, right? So, I would definitely leave this open to men and women, okay? Engaged, absolutely. Because the thing is that you don't want to market to people. Yeah, there are people who are going to be engaged that don't mark themselves as engaged. Okay, fine. That's great. But the thing is that this is you want it to target it, right? That's a big deal. So what you do is you can either save it from here, or you can go over to your ads manager. You can go to your saved audience, right? And you can just do it right here. So let's say you want to put in Miami, Florida. I usually recommend Miami and then maybe like surrounding it quite a bit. I recommend going about 50 miles out, somewhere around there, right? You could also drop a couple other cities in there. Let's say you want to do Fort Lauderdale. Right, that's one that you could do, I think. Maybe not. Or let's say maybe Jupiter. There you go. You could drop that in there, right? Expand that reach out a little bit if you want to, but you can play around with this. You know, you can do a number of these, right? So now you got a couple areas there. Now, you want to go 18 to 34. Okay. You want to leave it on all. And then you want to do some targeting. Now, this is what's really, really important, guys. So you want to go ahead and put in engaged, relationship status, engaged, and narrow it further for wedding, for photography. Or you can start with wedding photography, but not job titles. Interests. That's a big difference, right? Exactly. Interests, okay? And then you could also put in, like, you know, if you want, you could do regular photography. Because the thing is, you want to have a little bit broader of an audience. Right now, you got a reach of about 16,000 people. Not that many, right? You want to get that up even further. So I would do photography, which is, this is really going to jump up. Right? Now watch this. That went from 16,000 to 44,000. It's getting better, right? And if you want, you could put a related interest in there too. So you could do like wedding videography, right? Something like that. So, but that's mostly it. Like, I don't know if I'd put in like wedding dresses and all this other kind of stuff. Like, I would just keep it right here. Because remember that unlike other like I've watched like a number of these. I don't know if you ever like watch any of these, like, you know, these online marketing courses and things like that they do. And they'll tell you to, you know, to have them, you know, people who buy from this and buy from that. I typically don't recommend that, only because, I mean, yeah, you can put pages in there and all that, but you want to keep these controls as simple as possible. You don't want to flood a bunch of, you don't want to flood Facebook with a lot of controls. Otherwise, it can, it can get confusing and it can really mess things up. So just a couple is fine. Like, that's good enough, right? The other thing too is that we're not selling products, right? We're selling services, although they can be products. But the thing is, it's very different than someone who's selling like drop shipping, right? Like they're selling cat mugs and things out of China or whatever. Like, this is completely different, right? They're not going to buy from you online necessarily. Maybe they will, but they're gonna, what they're gonna do is they're gonna fill out a form, and then from there you'll sell to them because you're selling higher ticket items, right? This isn't like a $20 coffee mug. So it's a little different. But the thing is, you want to get in front of the right people, right? And this is how you do it. And that's it. And then you just type it in, and you can type your audience name as, like, let's say Miami audience, right? I like to call this a lead magnet audience. That's what it is. So let's say you did Miami lead magnet audience, right? And now, when you go to create your ad, this audience is going to be ready to go for you. So you create that audience, right? There you go. And now, when you go to create that, let's go back to the business settings, okay? If we can, or I'll just go back here, I guess. Okay. And we'll go ahead and go here. Now, when you create your ad, right? So now when you create your ad, and you click, because again, you're going to want to start with traffic on this one. I always recommend. You can call it Miami lead traffic. Set a daily budget. I mean, I'm just doing a test one. I'll keep it there for now. But what you do is when you go here and you go down to your audience, now you can use that saved audience, and guess what? It's right there, right? So that's how that's done. Okay, this is how you create an audience. Now, what's important is that you don't want to have in a situation where you have like where you just leave it wide open, right? Because you're going to get a bunch of people who are not looking for what you're offering. So whether it's, catering services, if you're a DJ or a photographer or a videographer, whatever it may be, you want to make absolutely sure that you are hitting the right audience. And here you are. Potential reach is about 44,000, which is pretty good. With $100 a day, you have, that's a lot. I realize that, but you're reaching 9,000, 800 people, 45 landing page views. But just for the audience, and we have other videos on posting these ads, as well. You can check that out there. But for the audience, this is what's important. Your industry and a related industry. Those two. That's about it. Okay? And if it's not specialized, just put in the generic version, but always market to the engaged couple, okay? Do not waste your time and money doing anything else, okay? Take my word for this. I have blown a ton of money just, marketing to people who are not interested in what we're doing, okay? And the whole point of this wedding cash thing is to help you out so that way you're not making the mistakes that I made, because some of this stuff I had to learn on my own, and I learned by, let's just say I paid for my courses in burning money, okay? So definitely got some life experience out of it. But definitely when you're putting together your audiences, make absolutely sure that you're going with people who are engaged, and then find your industry and a related industry and get it started. Now, what's important to know is that it takes Facebook some time to optimize all this, okay? It doesn't happen overnight. In fact, it can take up to about 30 days for them to really get it down. So they're going to start by feeling it out, and you're going to get some hits and all that kind of stuff. But then they're really going to ramp it up. And in a matter of 30 days, they're really going to have this optimized where they're hitting people who are really looking for your services. And they know this because they have all their Facebook algorithms that, that follow people around. Let's just be honest about it and kind of see what they're doing online, right? But they're going to put you in front of the right people. But you got to give them time to do it. So the thing is, you don't want to screw around with this or mess around with it that much, right? Once you get your audience there, you want to set it, you want to forget it, you just want to let this thing run and let it do its thing. And then from there, you can get into retargeting or remarketing and all this kind of stuff that we're going to go through here on this channel. So as always, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Is this an audience that you would go with? Would you do something else? Let us know. That's all I got for today for Wedding Cash. I hope you found this video helpful. Again, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment, and I'll catch you next time.